So studying law was a decision influenced by your family expectation, or was it like something you truly wanted to pursue? And what eventually led you to shift your focus towards filmmaking and photography?
So I studied. I always wanted to do cinema, and I wanted to go to a school called La Femis, which is a really famous school in Europe, cinema school. And you cannot enter the school just after graduating. You have to study for at least 2 years before. So my parents and my whole family said, like, study something that is safe, and if you change your mind, if you don't want to do cinema, after that you can at least be a lawyer. And I said, because you can study whatever you want before La Femis, you don't need to study cinema. So this is what I did. I studied the law, but I knew all the time that I wanted to do cinema. It was a childhood dream.
Okay, okay, great. So you also worked as an assistant on filmmakers such as Olivier Assayas and Abdellatif, who has made Blue is the warmest color. So how do you get into these opportunities, and what did you learn from working on this film that helped you shape as a filmmaker?
Yeah, I studied with Abdellatif Kechiche as as a casting director. How did I end up in this movie? I knew the first assistant, and because I knew the first assistant, and because Abdellatif liked to hire young young passionate people, let's say it like this, she presented me to Abdellatif, and he trusted me to do the casting of his movie. But in fact, we didn't do the movie. It was Maktub My Love, but it kind of transformed the whole movie after that. But we worked for a few months, and I did the whole casting. It was really interesting because I had to cast so many persons. I had to cast any young people, young person in Paris from 18 to 23 years old, and it was really interesting to cast and to discuss with all those young actors. And mainly, this is what I learned from this project: is to how to cast, how to identify a good actor, how to communicate with them, and how to direct them, because in some casting they had to act. So how to direct them. So it was that was the best part.
And with Olivier as well, you have worked with Olivier.
Yeah. Olivier Assayas was my first internship. It was at the beginning an internship, and then the first assistant like had a problem. I had to leave the set, and so I ended up being third assistant. And honestly, I learned everything. It's that easy. Like I was I don't remember how old I was, but I was like 20 something, 21, 20 years old. And I was so motivated. It was my first time in a real proper set. And I loved the project. And Olivier Assayas is really, really a nice director that really explain you everything. And I learned basically everything you have to learn on a set. I worked all day long, all night long for this movie. It was really interesting to see how he works, but it was like also learn how just the set work, and how the hierarchy, how to handle so many extra, how to like all of this. I learned everything on the set.
Okay, okay, great. So have you gone to film school, or like you just started working?
No, I never been to film school. I did law. I studied law, but in fact, I never been in class. And I was doing a lot of internship during the year. Even when I came back, because it was in Paris, and when I came back during the summer in Tunisia, I did some internship also with the producer here, and I did some internship in New York too. I try to do as many as internship as I can in different sector, like production, in as an assistant. Um, Also, even behind the combo, behind the image. So I did so many internships. This is how I learned everything I know.
Like you also do photography and filmmaking. So do you find any similarities or differences in the way you approach?
Yeah, there is a big difference, and there is one similarity. I would say it's the image. So it teach me how to compose an image and the light. and also directing, because you have to direct the model. And I love image. It's some directors, they love the storytelling. Some directors, they love the actors. Some directors, they love the image. I love everything, honestly, but I really like working the image. I really like to compose the image, to play with the sets, to play with the different angle. It's really something that I love, and I love it in photography and in cinema. And I work a lot with the DOP to try to recreate what I have in my mind, and I really imagine the whole scenario. I really imagine it in a really precise way. So I really like image, but it's still really different because the storytelling is so different. Like storytelling in cinema is so much more developed than in photography. You have a storytelling, but I would say it's more direct, artistic direction than a really real storytelling. Or at least in fashion, because most of the photography I do is fashion. So there is some storytelling, but it's so different from cinema. You don't need to invent a whole story, a backstory, and
Okay, okay. So your first short film, Back Mamba, received widespread recognition. So what was the experience like getting such a success in early in your career, and how that shaped your approach to filmmaking?
Black Mamba. Yeah, it was a really cool adventure. It gave me some confidence to see that, because when you start, you never know if you're, I wouldn't say talented enough, but if you're good enough to do movie, you want to do movie, but you don't know if it's good. It's the first time that you are behind a camera, and the first time that you show your work, and it was really stressful, honestly. But the fact that it was well received, it really gave me confidence that I wasn't wrong about my dream and that I can do it. So honestly, it was pretty nice. It was an incredible adventure. I really loved it. It went pretty well. The shoot went pretty well. My relationship with the actors was good, and I met my producer also. She's still the same one till now. She's the one who produced my second short and my first feature. So it was a really important meeting in my professional life, and yeah, it changed everything. Mainly because I was like, okay, this is really what I want to do, and I can do it. So that was a nice approach.
Like you faced any difficulties like that
Ah,
you remember?
yeah, difficulties. Yeah, so it took a lot of time to find the money, first of all. Uh, Basically, about everything I did until now, it was complicated about the money, because when you do a movie in Africa or in the Arab world, it's really complicated to find found. It is still expensive, so that was the first challenge, is to find how to finance all of this, and I really didn't want to do I really want to do a proper first short where everybody's paid. It was important for me to pay all the technicians, because I know in Tunisia there is not that much projects, there is not that much film or even commercial. So the industry, they need to be paid. You cannot. It's not like in Europe where you ask people for first short to not be paid, because you know that. They can work on other projects. But this is the case in Tunisia, so I really wanted to pay everybody. So it was important to find enough money to do that. That was the first challenge, and the second one was the editing. I discovered that I really need a lot of time, and that it's a new approach when you edit a movie. It's really a whole new approach, and you rewrite the whole movie. And I needed time, and I needed to really rewrite the whole thing, and it was complicated. It took a lot of time to edit Black Mamba.
So let's talk about your film, like where the winds come from. It has gone to Sundance. Like first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'll first want to talk about the writing process. Like what inspired the story? What inspired the story for Where the Winds Come From, and how did the idea evolve over time?
So it took me long time to write it. I really wanted to write a friendship story. I really wanted to write about imagination, about friendship between a boy and a girl, and I really wanted to write a comedy, a dramatic comedy, because I felt like. I felt like there was too much drama in life, first of all, but also in cinema. In my part of the world, there is a lot of drama, and I really wanted to talk about serious subjects, but I didn't want to over dramatize them, and also because I want to talk about youth, and I felt like youth is such like a coming of, when we talk about coming of age, there's so much energy, and it's an age when you are between 18 and 25. It's really an interesting age because you want to change the world and you feel like you can change the world, and this energy is so interesting. I didn't want to make a drama about it. I really wanted to do a dramatic comedy about it. So this is all the idea that I had in my mind before I start to write. And yeah, I started to write it a really long time ago in 2017, 2018, something like that. And then it took me a long time to raise the money and to finish the script.
Like how was the writing process? Did you attended various script labs, or did you just write it on
It,
your own? Were there any
it
co-writers as
I attended two screen lab, one called Less is More, which is a European screen lab, and one called Sud Écriture, which is an African and Arab script lab. Both were really interesting, pretty different. We went, so Less is More, we did it online because it was COVID time. And Sud Écriture, I did it in Rwanda, so it was really interesting to go there with other African screenwriter. It was completely different point of view, in fact, to have a Western point of view and then an African point of view. It was really different and really interesting to have both.
So it's a co-production like involving Tunisia, France, and Qatar. So how did this international collaboration shape the project creatively and logistically? So I'm talking about the like how did you get the funding and co-production, like producer for this film?
So Qatar is it's the Doha Film Festival, the Doha Film Institute. Sorry, so it's not like they gave us money through the Doha Film Institute, and for France, we found a French producer who believed in our project and who liked the script, and he entered in like based on the script, he entered in the adventure a little bit. I think 1 year after we started it, and. And they found different kind of sounds through Europe, especially France, because it's a French Tunisian production, and found in Switzerland, in Arab found, also African found, to finance it. So most of the fund was public fund. Tunisian ministry also gave us money. Most of the fund is cinema culture fund, and some private fund.
So it's going to be the premiere at Sundance. So like what was the, like what's the reaction? Like how do you want the audience to accept the film or connect with the film?
I hope they like it for sure. I really also like the fact that I make them discover Tunisia and the Tunisian society and Tunisian actors and even Arab language. It's something that is super important for me, and so I really want the audience in Sundance to identify with the actors and with the subject, even though it's a story from the other part of the world.
So, are there like you are a filmmaker and you might have seen a lot of films? Are there any movie recommendation that you want to recommend? Like it's a list, you can give me any films and filmmakers, any number of films and filmmakers.
Oh my God, there is so many. There is so many. Like in general, or with my movie, or
In generally, like your favorite films.
my favorite films. God, I love Eight and a Half from Fellini. I love Pulp Fiction, so different from Eight and a Half. I love Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I love Phantom Thread. Is it Phantom Thread? I think it's Phantom Thread. I love, oh, yeah, Drunk Punch Love was really good also. I like independent American cinema. Um, but I also like some French movie like Un Prophète and old Park Chan-wook movie. I loved Old Boy, Mademoiselle, Stalker. I like old Park Chan-wook movie, was really good. And Koro Eda, also really touching movie. Father and Son. I know the titles in French, so I'm not sure that that's in English, but I think it's Father and Son, something like that. And they
Like
switch
father, like son.
like Father, like Son. It's really good movie. I don't know that much Indian movie. I'm so sorry.
Any Tunisian movie?
Tunisian movie, yeah, there is a lot of. In fact, the new generation of movies is really good. You can find some on Netflix. You can find movies called Un Fils, Mehdi Barsawi, which is pretty good. There is one called Hedi that I liked also. There is one called Ashkel, Under the Fig Tree also was really good. Oh, this movie went to Cannes. You can find it through the platform. There is a short movie that you can find on Vimeo called Brotherhood. They went to the Oscar with it. It's a Tunisian short movie of Mariam Jouber, and it's a really good movie. You can find it for free on Vimeo.
So last question is like, if somebody wants to become a filmmaker, like what advice would you give to them?
To write, and if you want to do like to start to write and to take any kind of camera, even the phone, and to try to take your friend or young actors who want to succeed, and to try to do movies, and then to edit it, to try to do the all the jobs, you know. So you have to write it, you have to direct it, and then you have to edit it, to really understand how the whole creation process, and to really use anything, your family, your friends, your dog, whatever, to try to do some short movies, because you don't need school, you don't need anything, you just need to try and to fail. You cannot succeed if you don't fail. To try and to fail, to try and to fail, and to always write, and also to always believe in it, because it's so complicated to do a movie, it's so difficult, so sometimes you just give up. But it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of patience, and you have to really believe in yourself and in your dream. It's a bit basic, but yeah.